guys, Saturday. We're stuck by a train. We're gonna go hit a few garage sales today. I was looking them up. There's one right close to us. And then of course everything else is far away. That's how it is here in Texas. Everything's spread out. And we are in the boonies. $4. Air talk. Okay. Are they tore up? Yeah. Grease gun. Cable. Those are too rusty. That's air compressor stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So, oh, that's a air compressor ratchet, right? I've never seen one. Air top. I wonder if this is air purifier. $4. They run $99.
Funny. Could have been a toolbox for me.
There's some nice pans. Well, I've got a crock pot. I got the exact same iron. But, okay. I'll keep looking. Okay. This is what I got, you guys. Air purifier. I did plug it in, and I looked these up. The cheapest one I saw was $99, and we got it for $4. So that's a good deal, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the hydraulic jacks, bottle jacks, which we were using John's before, and these are even more heavy duty than some of his. So they'll come in handy. I wanted 20, you talked them down to 15 each, right? Cool, cool. So, wheeling and dealing. Okay, guys. After driving forever trying to find this place, just saw a sign on the corner of the road. We got sidetracked.
At the next stop sign, turn
left. Look at this popcorn maker. It's a whirly pop. I got it for $1. And Greg looked it up. How much do they sell for?
25 to 40.
Awesome. And I've been wanting to get some Corelle dishes, which I could care less about the bowls like that, but I got 4 lunch plates and 4.
At the stop sign, turn
I
left
got
onto Aspen Trail.
4 lunch plates and 4 dinner plates for $3. You know how expensive Corelle is. And they're not bad looking. See? See? Alright, guys. It's almost 4th of July. Now last time,
Do you guys have like a family pack that doesn't have
our neighbors had fireworks that all came flying over to our property. Now it's paybacks. We're going to get them back. We live out of the city limits, so we're good to go. Looky what he has. Party! It's a big one. Here. Yeah, I got you. I can unlock the door for you. Wow. Cool. Gonna scare our dogs like crazy. I think they'll get used to it. Awesome. It's Sunday. We just got out of church.
No, I'm just waking up.
It's so funny. This morning, I made the linguine with white clam sauce. Then Greg was saying, you know what? I'm not hungry. Why don't I have it for breakfast? I go, well, what do you want to drink? He goes, not milk. You know, breakfast, he's got to have milk. Okay. So I only had one pitcher, okay? So it's got the mango drink, the Mexican mango drink in it. And so I poured him some of that. That's like a juice, right? But it was super sweet. And there's lemon in the white clam sauce. I said,
Two of my favorite things, and they don't go together at all. At all. I took one bite of the linguine, and then I had a sip of the mango drink, and then I didn't want the linguine anymore.
yeah.
And then I felt bad because I was like, well, I didn't eat Janice linguine last night, and it's fantastic, great recipe. So I thought I gotta eat some.
Right.
So then I'd go back to eating the linguine, and my mouth would be like sugar from this mango drink, and it wouldn't mix well with the
Linguine has lemon in it and lots of spices, you know.
Yeah.
I said, well, don't you want some water? Yes.
So we were about 12 minutes late for church this morning because
well, the train.
I was trying to get some of this down, but it gets to like right here, and it wouldn't want to go any further. It wanted to come back up.
All right, so there was potluck for church, but I didn't bring anything, and we got lots of food at the house. And then we got a party to go to on the 5th, right?
Oh yeah.
And I gotta bring my green chili chicken enchilada casserole. I have my own green chilies down there growing, so anyway. We can't forget about that. We missed the last party.
No, we didn't.
No, but he had another party in between, remember?
We haven't missed any of his parties.
Really?
None.
I thought we did.
The guy that I bowl with, him and his wife throw massive parties like twice a year.
Yeah.
July 4th, and there's a Christmas party. Oh wow, yeah.
That's Hatch green chili.
Sunday, guys. Sunday afternoon. Evening.
And the jalapenos on this one.
Yeah.
And all over there. All those jalapenos over there.
These are jalapenos over here on the far side?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see one hanging. See more than one hanging.
Yeah. See? Cool, huh? But those carrots are finally growing. That's the 4th time I've planted carrots. They're finally growing.
So the other ones you couldn't even get to sprout? Are they the same seeds?
No. It's a whole. This is a variety. Supposed to be the red, the orange, like a variety.
I've never seen a red carrot.
Oh yeah. The parsley, that's from last year, or last.
Just came back from the winter?
Yeah, but here's the celery, and that's from the grocery store. I just cut it off, and these are real tough, so I just cook with them, and that's my deal. And I just keep trimming it and drying it. And these got ripe in one day. Look at.
Oh, your tomatoes?
Yeah.
You just
Did a whole batch.
yeah, now you got one more to do, or you're gonna eat it tonight.
Yeah.
How about your grapes? You got any grapes showing yet?
over here?
I saw your plants when I was mowing. Grapes are over here. This is her grapevine.
No grapes, yeah. But that's just one plant.
It's doing good though.
Yeah.
Cause that was tiny when you got it.
Yeah, it's only this big.
You're gonna need more height though.
No, you just keep going sideways.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what is this one?
That's the lemon tree. I potted it yesterday. And,
Okay.
you know, because you do repot and whatever you do, they tend to lose leaves, but I'm going to water them real good and then do bug spray.
And this is your watermelon.
Yeah, that's just came up by itself.
He's got some growing to do. This is your lime tree. Is this where you're going to plant it over here?
Avocado?
Oh, avocado. Is this where you're going to plant it over
No,
here?
no, because it's going to get big. And I don't know if I should plant it over here or in the corner or in the front.
I've got about 12 or 14 stumps back here that are the size of ride lawnmowers that I just didn't know what to do with when we were clearing the land, because the gentleman that cleared the land for us had already left. So these trees that are back there, the stumps, have either trees have broken and I removed them, or one of them was diseased, so I removed it. And I thought, well, there's no good way, even with a chainsaw, of tearing those down. So, well, I'll stick them back there in the back of the property and I'll let them start to rot a little bit, and that'll help me. Well, now I'm expanding the property. I'm starting to cut the grass back in the trees to clear the brush on the back part of the property, and now those stumps are in the way. And those things were not easy to move. I mean, you can roll them, but it takes a long time. Hey guys, isn't this beautiful land? Look at this. I mowed today. I love mowing. I don't know why. I think probably because I know it's property's gonna look a lot better each time I do. And if you can imagine, well, you guys, our longtime followers will know, when we bought this land, the trees were as thick as our neighbors over here. I mean, they're so thick that you could only see about 20 or 30 feet into the property from the road. And I'm estimating, but I truly believe there was over 1,000 trees on this piece of property. It's just 3 acres. Right after the winter, all that was out here was weeds, lots of weeds. But every time I mow, I have a bag of seeds with me, and anytime I see a bare spot, like this right here, I throw seed down on it. And it's working. It's working, so I'm happy about that. Now eventually, our house is going to sit, see where that big mound of dirt is? That's going to be about the front edge of our house there. House is going to sit right here between the pump house and that pile of dirt right there that's covered in weeds. But that's where the house will go.
All right, guys, it's Monday. And it's hot. And Greg's getting rid of the sassafras bushes, trees by the pump house. Because we know we'll have problems with the roots and the pipe. You already done?
Yeah, there's a snake.
There's a snake?
Yeah, I think it's a gardener snake.
Really?
Yeah, I was cutting one, and I cut that one first.
Uh-huh.
Then when I went up to cut the one close to the building,
Yeah.
I pulled it back away from the building as I did.
Uh-huh.
I saw about that much of a snake tail coming over this way, so it's in here somewhere.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, or else it went under into the well house if it's got a hole.
What color was it? Black?
Black, and it had kind of green stripe on it.
Yeah, that's garter. How do you say it? Garter?
Garter snake or
Garter snake. Yeah. Yeah, we have quite a few.
I'm gonna have to dig a hole to get the root out, which I'll have to do. So
Yeah.
hopefully Mr. Snake will go somewhere else.
Is he in there?
We got a leak.
Oh, no.
See it right there? It's on that little extension hose.
Okay.
It's pouring out.
Oh, no. No wonder those trees are growing so good. Okay, just turn off the valve. I'll go get some pliers. You're gonna need pliers. Do you know whether the yellow slip wrench one is?
The yellow what?
The yellow handled one. I don't know what happened to
I
it.
don't either.
You keep losing it every few months. Okay. I'll go get the stuff. He's going to change that. Greg cut down those sassafras bushes by the pump house. And I looked at several different ways to make sassafras tea and a concentrate that you can have in your fridge or in a jar to just make individual glasses or pitchers of tea. So, from what I understand, you can just clean these up and put them in hot water for individual cups. And then the bigger roots, clean them up and kind of peel off the bark. And the fatter ones you kind of split and you boil them and make, it's a recipe that you can have in like a jar and it will keep for like a year, but you just use like a couple teaspoons in a glass with water and then ice. You have a glass of tea anytime you want it. So, this is my harvest. Let me show you. Pickin. Okay. Pickin, that's quite a bit. See? So, you know, we'll try it out and see if we like it. But we have lots of sassafras out here. My neighbor said, yeah, you can make sassafras tea. And so, I got my little snippers out after Greg dug up part of the root system. And this is what the video looked like, you know, about this size to make that concentrate. So I'm going to clean these up, kind of scrape them a little bit, and kind of split them, and then boil it up. And then you add sugar and, well, you strain it and then boil it again with some sugar, something like that. It's a recipe online, a YouTube video. But, man, it smells so good. We like sassafras sodas. I bet it kind of like smells like a licorice. I think you make licorice with it. I like black licorice, red licorice. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, I'm experimenting. It's all good out in the country. And there's like sassafras over there, over there, over there, there. We had a couple big trees and you can't really dig those out. The smaller ones, you dig them out. And if you're careful, you can transplant them if they're somewhere you don't want them. Alright guys, well, it's Tuesday. We've already done an estimate. We already did laundry. And yeah, did laundry. We came all the way out to Tyler, actually South Tyler, to do an estimate. Now we're at the bowling alley and we came super early, and I always freeze in there. So Greg went in and I'll be in there in a minute, and we're expecting a designer to call us and drop off some wallpaper, and I tell you what, it never ends. And I gotta call somebody. We're gonna have some neighbors over for 4th of July, maybe. So I forgot to call one of them. I don't want to hurt his feelings, so I need to call him. He's a nice guy. Yeah, real nice guy. Helped us in many ways. I invite him and his wife, and there's several others, you know. All our neighbors are really good people. They buy a whole bunch of fireworks.
Alright guys, I shot a 644. I had a 235 the first game, a 212 the second game, and a 197 the third game. We won all 4 points. Good night of bowling. Good night of bowling.
This gives me hope. Hey guys, it's Greg. It is Wednesday. I wanted to do this video outside, but I went out there and I was out there for like 3 minutes and started dripping sweat. Right now it's in the mid 90s and humidity is between 50 and 60%. So it's just walking outside, you just feel like you're walking into a sauna. But I wanted to talk about my bowling last night. Janet had an altercation at the bowling alley. I thought it was funny. She didn't think it was so funny. But this league that I'm bowling in is a summer league. I missed the first 3 weeks of the league because I was recovering from shoulder injury. So on the 4th week is my regular team, my same team that I bowl with during the fall league. So they just had somebody substitute for me the first 3 weeks until I was healthy enough to bowl. Well, the 4th week of the league, which was last week, I had a terrible night bowling. The oil machines were messed up. They almost didn't even have the league that night because the oil machines needed to be cleaned. And the league got together and decided, no, we all want to bowl, go ahead and use the machines. Well, the machine was laying down like 3 times as much oil as normal on one side of the machine and barely any on the other side of the machine. So if you can imagine a bowling lane, one side of the lane having extreme oil and the other side of the lane having hardly any oil. So it didn't matter whether you were a right-hander or a left-hander, you were going to have a rough night. I'm right-handed. The right side of the bowling alley had at least 3 times as much oil as usual. I mean, you could squat down and see the oil, the reflection of the oil, and there was like little ripples in it. There's so much oil. I couldn't get my ball to hook. So the first game, when I was setting average, I had a 117. That's the worst game I've bowled since I was a kid. The second game, I thought, well, I can't hook the ball, so I'm going to go to the far right side of the lane and throw my ball straight directly into the pocket. Well, that game I shot a 234, and then the third game a 171. So I set a low average, 168. Trying to do my best. So we show up last night to bowl, and when we get ready to practice, the guy that I was going to be bowling against, I was talking to him for a few minutes, and I asked him, how long have you been bowling? He said, just a couple of years. And so I said, oh, okay, because I'd noticed he had a really old bowling ball. So I thought, well, I know that there's a car dealership between where we live in Dallas that will give you a free bowling ball, and these are high quality bowling balls. These are professional bowling balls, if you test drive one of their vehicles. So I told him about it. He was grateful. He was, oh my gosh, I'm going to go there and get one. I'm going to get one for my girlfriend also. I'm going to bring her and she'll test drive a car too. I said, you should. And I showed him one of the balls that I had gotten from the dealership. And so anyways, he was all excited about it. We were all good friends and everything. We start bowling. In, I think, my first 5 frames, I had 4 strikes and a spare. Now, I didn't realize it because I'm sitting with my group of bowlers and I have my back to the other team. They're round tables. But Janet said, the guy that you were talking to is getting really mad. I said, why? Well, he keeps coming back from after when he throws his ball and goes back to his seat. He's coming back and he's cussing and he's stomping his feet. And so anyways, then Janet, I said, okay, whatever. I didn't think anything about it. A few frames later, Janet said, he's sitting over there with his team and he's calling you a professional bowler and that your average that you set was way too low. He was insinuating that I was sandbagging. In other words, setting a very low average the first night so that I have a high handicap that gets added on to my scores when I start bowling
better. And so anyways, somebody in the bowling alley always gets accused of that. Now, I would never do that, honestly, because when we lived in Las Vegas, I carried a 219 average. Since we've been in Texas, I'm between 190 and 202, something like that every season. So I'm trying to get back to the bowler that I was in Las Vegas. So I'm fighting for every pin, trying to get back to what I was. Well, at the start of the second game, I think my first 3 or 4 balls were strikes in that game also. I shot a good series. I had a 644, which is a 214 average for the night. And now he's really talking over there. And he's talking to his partners, saying that we're getting screwed in this situation. And I'm thinking to myself, because I wasn't even really paying attention to them, but Janet was telling me that what she was hearing. And I'm thinking to myself, this is only a 13-week league. There's no real money involved in this league. If I was gonna sandbag, if I was that type of person, I would do it in the winter league, where we're bowling for 34 weeks, because we have a much bigger prize fund in that league. I don't know what he's talking about. So Janet told me that she was cold. She wanted to go out to the car and get her jacket. I said, yeah, go ahead. So she goes outside, and he's out there smoking or something. And he approaches Janet and tells her, I'm pissed. Your husband is screwing us over, and you guys are, we have no chance of beating you guys. And he set way too low an average, and he's a professional bowler, which I was. I was a professional bowler for 1 year. Back in 2007, I qualified for the PBA. And so I had my PBA card for a year. And then I realized, hey, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm too busy working. I can't go to these tournaments. So after 1 year, I left the PBA. Well, needless to say, this guy is hot now. He's really upset. And not only did he tell Janet that I was somehow cheating, but that she was involved in it. Janet comes back inside and tells me that Janet's starting to get worried about this guy because he seems like he could be violent. She comes back inside and tells me what he said, and I almost started laughing. I thought it was funny. I said, don't worry about it. I said, if somebody gets accused of being a sandbagger every year. I said, this is the first time it's ever happened to me, but I thought, well, that's a good thing because he thinks I'm a much better bowler than what I bowled last week. Well, that gave me drive because I decided then, if he's going to act that way, I'm going to concentrate as hard as I can to have a good night of bowling. And the lanes, the conditions weren't bad. They weren't great on the lanes, but they weren't bad. And so I was really concentrating on every ball, and I ended up having a really good night. Well, after the second game, they were so upset. He and his girlfriend, who bowls on the team, got their balls and left the bowling alley with one game left to go. Abandoned their team. The other 2 players stayed and bowled against us, but when the 2 people that were upset left because they had to put in a blind score that third game, they cost their team 10 points each because they take your average, and if you miss a night, let's say the guy has a 150 average, then he gets a 140 average for that game. That's all the points they get. So anyways, Janet then told me part of the way through the third game, they didn't actually leave. Their car is still out there, but they're somewhere here in the building or around the building. So I told them they're probably in the bar. And so anyways, after we finished bowling, we beat their team all 4 games. And it really wasn't a very strong team. The other 2 members of the team were really wonderful people. After we finished bowling, I thanked them for bowling against us and told them I had a great time. I hope they did too. And they did. Needless to say, I was thinking to myself, I was happy that he was calling me a professional bowler because he didn't know that I had actually been a professional bowler. And so I considered it a compliment. But that's the first time something like that's happened to me at the bowling alley. And needless to say, I was starting to get a little bit irritated because I didn't like him approaching my wife like that outside. But I thought to myself, the guy acts like a tough guy.
But if he really was a tough guy, he would have approached me. He would have told me, I'm upset with you because you're doing this, and then I could have just told him, no, I'm not. You were here, you know, I could have told him, you were here last week, you saw the lane conditions, nobody bowled well. That was the night I was setting average. So, needless to say, I had a really good night of bowling, and in one night, my average went from 168 to 191, which is a huge, huge difference. And so anyhow, I thought it was quite amusing, but it's the first time I've ever run somebody out of a bowling alley because of my bowling. But
it's Thursday. And how long did it take us to get here? Almost 2 hours? Yeah. We're in Forney, Texas. And the movers are here when we got here. So we parked way out in the street. And we got this neat, expensive paper Greg's working on. And this is the only room we're doing. And it was textured and the float guys floated it out for us. So we did a pretty good job this time, huh? Yeah. All we had to do is sand it and seal it. And look at that. We just ate chicken fried steak from East Texas Burger Company. Okay. We got the big one and split it. And that was all, it was almost too much food again. Now, get this. I've asked Greg 3 or 4 times last week, would you like some chicken fried steak? Well, that tells me something. You didn't like mine.
I like yours tremendously. I just hate you slaving over a stove when I'm not real hungry.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I thought, hey, let's stop on the way home at the chicken fried steak place so you don't have to cook it.
Yeah, I got a lot to do tonight because we're entertaining tomorrow for 4th of July.
I'm never entertaining.
Happy 4th of July, guys. Greg's been helping me set up. We're gonna have hot dogs and our neighbors are coming. And we got some fireworks. I got the fire pit cleaned out. Got a couple chairs. Greg got the table out. And that's where I melted it over here. The little tabletop barbecue. Didn't think about it melting.
You better watch out, Charlie. We're coming close to him.
Wow.
I never understood why they make 4th of
Close.
I thought maybe. Wow. Oh, looky. Oh, look, this went way up. What is that, like 40, 50 foot?
There's one over there too.
Oh, they're shooting too.